Hello and welcome to The Extra Mile. I'm Linda BOUDREAUX. Our guest today is Clare L Martin. Clare is a poet here in Lafayette, and she's also very involved in the art community. So we're going to find out about the poetry that she writes and some of the other activities that she's involved in. Clare, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for welcoming me here, Linda. Thank you.
It's so good to see you, and I so appreciate you coming. Now, you're a poet. And, when I say that, people always think when they hear the word poet of some sort of, effete or, I don't know, some kind of special person. But poets are just people that do what?
Well, we write poetry primarily, and also I think I really believe that we're seers of truth. That we seek truth and through the process of writing. And also in the way we live, like we might have a mindset that we're observant of life and observant of human relationships, and we're able to process our own inner life through language and creating something beautiful out of our experiences. So that's how I see myself, and I like saying that I'm a poet. I really do, because I even have business cards that just say, my name and then poet, because I own it. I own that identity, and it's been the process of being able to call myself a poet has been transformational, and people do find it kind of curious, but I am a working poet. I do actively publish. I have a book that came out last year, and because of the work I've done as a poet and refining my skills, I just recently was appointed to be a poetry editor of 2 literary publications, Mad Hat Lit and Mad Hat Annual, which is part of a nonprofit that is founded in Asheville, North Carolina. So I'm very excited about that, and it has international reach. So I'll be helping to select poems and some short fiction for publication, and I'll be helping other poets by telling them, yes, your work will be published, and we're going to give an audience to you to be able to showcase literary talent. So I'm very excited about that.
So you really are a working poet.
I'm a working poet, and there's not much compensation. I've spoken at...
You mean you haven't gotten rich yet?
No, I have not. But I have made a little bit of money, enough to... I've taken my family out to eat boiled crawfish.
Yes.
I've been able to buy pizza and Chinese food takeout. I have been able to do a few things like that. So maybe put a tank of gas in the car. So it's been helpful, not lucrative.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's enriching, if not in other ways.
It is.
But I want to go back to what you said when we first started, because and I said to you, because people that are poets, it's a different literary style than prose and writing fiction or a journalist's kind of format. And there is, I think, very often something very spiritual about poetry, or something that, is it the sickness of it? Is it the way that you have to craft language, you think, to be able to get things down in a stylized, formal kind of way?
Yes.
Is that what does it?
It's extremely difficult, and it saddens me that there is not as much, if you're going to be a poet, you should have a teaching position, or you should have another job, because you're not going to be compensated for the work that you put into it. And it's extremely difficult to not just open yourself and find the words, find the words, but then, fight to have your words published, and to create an audience and gathering people around you who appreciate your work. But the craft of it I've been very driven since a young age to express myself, and I've been a lover of language, a reader. That's extremely important. And I think that I may be going off your question a little bit.
You can go anywhere you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a teaching artist through the Acadiana Center for the Arts, and we do work in schools. And something that's very important to me is that, being able to name emotions or name your experiences and put them on paper and make something beautiful. Maybe it's something sorrowful that happened or something joyful. You're empowering yourself, and you're lifting yourself up out of circumstances. And I really believe that's what writing has done for me. My desire from a very young age was to be a writer. I had a very, very active imagination, and I went to high school, got creative writing classes. I got pregnant at a very young age and quit high school, and my family was very supportive because my son was, they're a good family, and my son was 3 months premature. He weighed 2 pounds at birth.
Oh.
And he had cerebral palsy, and he never walked and he never spoke. But my parents put me through college, and I got a degree in English. And even then, I was struggling because I really wanted to write. It was very important to me. And fast forward a little bit, Adam, my son, passed away in 2004. And when he died, I just made the commitment to honor his memory by honoring my gifts. And that
What
was...
a lovely, lovely sentiment.
Yeah, that was it was a way, and also I have a daughter, she'll be 18 next month, and at the time, too, I wanted to honor my gifts to set an example for her.
You have to honor your gifts. I mean, they're like boiling up inside of you until you do something with them. So when did you actually start to write?
Well, the serious undertaking was in 2004, and
After
Adam died, and that's been 9 years. And I mean, I just poured myself into it, and I was just like obsessive and sleepless, and just very, very dedicated. And in that time, I created lots and lots and lots of failed poems, but it was the learning process that I had to go through, and just really hone my craft, and be able to write at a level that was going to be the excellence that's required to have your work published and have your work catch the attention of editors. And with online literary journals, I've had with online literary journals and print publications. Since 2004, I've had 70 publications.
Wow, Claire.
Yeah, 70 publications and some in anthologies and literary journals. And my book, Eating the Heart First, was published last October.
What I would like to do is just get a sample. Would you mind reading one of your poems for us? We're going to hear some more later in the show, but
okay.
Now you've got my curiosity. Okay.
I selected one, and it's really the most hopeful poem in the book. Do not let death catch you, or the ocean take you into spiraled caverns where no living thing sees light. Fill your lungs, rise from this, the darkest water. Let the wind carry you on ethereal bones. Be of the grass, of dreaming birds. Be of the last unforgiving stone of the silent earth. Fire scatters your wish, burning petals of ash drift to your cheek. Remember when your mind was keen, when the hope which possessed you rose to the stars.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. Now, does that particular poem have any particular significance for Adam, for you? Is it just part of your process?
I think the significance is that in the book, I really wrote the book for human beings, not necessarily other poets, although I hope other poets would appreciate, the meaning that I sought in this book, and also hope that they would appreciate the craft. but I wrote it for other humans, and to me that is me speaking to other humans about, you know, the essential, and also about how we must hope, we must continue to hope.
So it's a heart-to-heart talk.
Yes, a heart-to-heart talk.
Back and forth.
I think it's a very intimate book because there are personal revelations in the book, but I think it's very intimate because I'm speaking to you from the first page to the last. I'm speaking to the reader.
And although it may be based on your personal experience, it sounds like it's based on the human experience.
Yes, the human
again,
experience.
And,
it does.
And that shared experience that we
Yes.
have.
And also it has somewhat of a Louisiana flavor too. I could say that the cover art, and I'll hold it up, hopefully that's good. The cover art is by a Louisiana photographer who, Pamela Womax, and my publisher, Kevin Morgan Watson with Press 53, was having difficulty selecting the cover because the title is so strong, but he found this Louisiana photographer, and I was really excited that he was able to tie it in. It's a swamp scene, so
It's perfect.
yeah.
Now the title, how did you come? Eating the Heart First.
Eating the Heart First. I had a poem with that title, and it's in the book, Eating the Heart First. And I always thought, probably, I've had this title in mind for over 20 years, that if I would have a first collection, that would be the title of it. And it's just, it's astonishing to me that happened.
Hey, you got a book.
Yeah.
With a title that you
Yes.
imagined many.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes if you can dream it, you can make it happen, huh?
Yes.
And that's really true. But that book took you started in 2004 and it was published in 12?
Yes.
So it took you roughly eight
8
years?
years, yeah. I found out 3 days before Christmas of 2011 that it would be accepted for publication. And I mean, there were tears of joy, you know, there were, lots of jumping up and down. And, you know, it's just been a really, really exciting period of time from that. It was life-changing. And in May, I was invited, I have a friend, Jonathan Penton, who works with Mad Hat, and I was invited to read in Asheville for a word fest. And while we were there, Winston-Salem, where my publisher is, was not that far away. So we drove to Winston-Salem one evening to meet my publisher, and I just had to give him a hug in person and tell him that he changed my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it hard to get poetry published?
It's hard.
I thought it would be
hard.
because it's a very specific genre. You
It
know
is.
it is, and so it has its own niche, but it's not a really huge one in the
Right.
overall market.
And there's such a variation of style, interests
Yeah.
by readers. You know, so some you really have to do your research to know where to submit work if your work is going to be a good match and a good fit, because different literary journals have different stylistic interests. You know.
Right, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So your book is now available for purchase.
It is.
And where can we find it?
It's available Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, and through my publisher, Press 53, which is just press53.com.
The numbers?
Mhm.
5, okay.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have like a trunk full.
I have some in my car. Okay, I do.
Yeah.
I keep them in my car, and when I talk to people, it's like, hey, I have some books in the car.
Exactly. You should always carry your book.
Yes.
with you. But writing is only a part of what you do.
Yes.
And you also help other writers.
I do. That's extremely important to me. And I will say that 2 people that come to mind right away, and there are more, but Patrice Melnick has a literary series that she's inspired me with her work in the community that she's done. And she has Festival of Words, Cultural Arts Collective, which I'm a member. And also Daryl Bork. He's done some fantastic work with students and with the community through UL and all around the state. And he wrote a blurb on the back cover of my book. And I told him, I said, I can't think of anything that I can do for you in the way that you've uplifted me. I said, but the only thing I can do is pay it forward and help others along. So I do work as a co-coordinator with Jonathan Penton, who has Unlikely Stories, which is a literary magazine that's been online since, I think, 1998. So he's really and he's also a managing editor with Mad Hat.
Okay.
So he's a poet himself, and he's done some literary activities in the Lafayette community for the past couple of years.
But the Mad Hatter's out of North Carolina.
Yes, but we have editors around the country.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah, and we have and he's done 100,000 Poets for Change. But he brought an idea from El Paso for Acadiana Word Lab here. And what we do is it's a literary drafting workshop, and anyone is welcome to come. We meet on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. upstairs in a conference room at the Acadiana Center for the Arts. There's a website that has our schedule. It's acadianawordlab.org, so it's org. And different artists from different disciplines come and give us creative prompts. And even if you don't see yourself as a writer, it's a really safe environment for you to come and have creative breakthroughs. We've had a composer that's come in and brought a portable piano and played original compositions, and then we write to that. We're going to have we write as a group, but we write privately, and then we share as a group.
Okay.
And we're going to have someone who is a poet, but who is also a creative movement artist. And she's coming in the spring or in the early part of 2014. And Bonnie McDonald is her name. And we've had professors from the English department. We've had graduate students from the English department. We've had visual artists. It's just fantastic. We've had people come in and give us a creative presentation that will spark something, and then we all write new, and then we share. And
so it's really the arts feeding off of the arts.
Yes,
really.
It really is
and
a
everybody's kind of getting
fantastic
into that
project.
left brain part of themselves and just
Yes.
making wonderful things happen.
Yes, and it's a very safe atmosphere. People are very trusting. We're all sharing this raw writing. We're sharing it, and it's scary for everyone.
I was going to say,
but
isn't
it's
that scary?
It is scary, but it's trusting. There's.
Then you must not be critical of each other.
We're not. Criticism does not play a part. We're very supportive because it's a first draft.
Well, how can you be creative and critical at the same
Right.
time? I think it would really kind of block the
And
flow.
it's just coming out. What are you going to say? You're going to say, "Oh, that's terrible." No one's going to say that. We're all in the same boat. And one of the cool things about it too is that you could be sitting next to someone who is far more skilled than you, and you're going to learn from them, and they're going to learn from you because it's all fresh work. It's very fresh, and so that's very.
I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and like I said, it's we're right now looking for artists to be presenters themselves in 2014, and people can contact us through the website acadianawordlab.org, and we can sign people up to be presenters. And like I said, it's open to the public as well.
So if anybody watching is a creative individual that would like to present to your group, just go through the website and say, look, I can do
Yes.
this, and I would like to come, and then you'll contact and follow up.
Yes,
Is that how that
we'll
works?
book them. Yes, I do the booking.
And you said anybody can come, so somebody that maybe has never written, and it doesn't have to be poetry, right? It can
Right,
be any
it
kind
can
of
be-
writing
right.
that you want. So if somebody would like to maybe just have that experience, they can come.
Yes, between 2 and 4 p.m. upstairs at the Acadiana Center for the Arts.
No reservation required, just
No
come.
reservation. Well, hopefully we won't have 100 people, but we
We should be so lucky.
our group has. I think we've had, maybe max 12, and that's a good size. To be able to have time for everyone to share.
Right.
And through for the presentations. It's really, this past week we had someone who's a fiction writer, so he guided us through some exercises by Robert Olin Butler, who used to teach at McNeese, who's a Pulitzer Prize winner. So we've had, it's just really exciting stuff going on.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't want to let all of our time get away from
Okay.
us without hearing another one of your poems.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of break on this dialogue for a second. If you don't mind, would you read one more of your
Sure.
poems for us? So
Thank you.
While we're talking about all the creative juices flowing.
I'll read this one. This is for my daughter. who'll be 18 next month, and amazes me. To a daughter born in winter. This night in my arms, you look into my eyes with something I imagine is love, but daughter, I know it is hunger, hunger. I will keep this place for you, cover your wounds and heal you. The lullaby I sing is garbled in sobs. Everything becomes dust, even you, even me. You were born in winter, and winter holds you. Outside, the wind is fretting. Silver leaves fall like tattered letters that drift out of mother's hands.
Beautiful.
Thank you for letting me share that.
Oh, thank you for sharing it. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And as a mother of 3 daughters, I'm thinking of each of my girls as I hear you read that. So
this was, I mean, I know it began with the honoring of my son, but it ends with a treasure for my daughter. You know, for her, I want to, you know, express to her every day that whatever it is that she needs to do in her life and what's meant for her to do and accomplish, that she can. So, I mean, it's a gift, you know, it's a gift to her.
It is, and generations to come, by the way.
I hope so.
I do want to talk a little bit about the group that you have at Carpe Diem, because that's just another really cool thing that you're doing.
Yes, I started the Voices seasonal reading series at Carpe Diem, and we have events seasonally, winter, spring, summer, fall, and the way it started was really kind of funny. I wanted to have a reading there, so I thought, well, I'll just approach Sylvia,
who owns it,
and Patrice Melnick was having a book come out, and I said, well, Patrice and I, we need to book ourselves and get ourselves out there reading, and it was winter, and it was the first winter that she had opened, and I thought, we need to help her out because, yes, coffee is hot, but gelato is cold, and maybe not a lot of people wanted to come and eat gelato in the winter. So we invited our friends, and we had a full house. There were no seats available. People were standing, and Patrice and I gave a reading, and it was so fantastic. So he was like, please do this again. And I said, okay. So I just started a reading series, and we've had quite a number of people, and I'm sorry I won't be able to list them all, but we've had Daryl Bork, we've had a poet from Houston come, we've had poets from New Orleans. On November 13th, we have 3 Louisiana writers that are coming. That's a Wednesday night, so it's Wednesday at 7 p.m., November 13th at Carpe Diem. We'll have Matthew Hoffrick, who's a fiction writer, Carol Rice, who's a poet who lives here in Lafayette. Matt and Carol live here in Lafayette. And we have Gina Ferrara from New Orleans, who is coming. She's a poet, and she has a new book out, so they'll be reading there too. So it's been very successful.
So it's on Wednesdays always?
It's going to be on Wednesdays now. We have a Facebook presence. It's Voices Seasonal Reading Series.
Okay.
And it's on Wednesdays because so many things are happening in the downtown area on weekends. And Wednesdays kind of have a little lull, and people can come out, and we're not conflicting with other literary activities that go on in the area on that night.
Good. So that's a great opportunity for people to come. Are you looking for people that want to read as well?
Yes, they can contact me. I could give them my cell phone number.
You can do that.
Okay.
And we can put it up on the screen.
337-962-5886. And again, we do have events winter, spring, summer, fall. So it's usually 4 events a year. So it's very tight to schedule people in. But sometimes I'm able to do additional special events depending on the schedules.
And the need, I guess, and how many
Yes.
people. We're running really almost out of time, but I just wanted to kind of wrap up by saying we have such a vibrant arts community. How does poetry and writing, how is that fitting in with the others? Are they all just working together to kind of uplift everyone?
I really feel like the arts are coming to a fore in the Lafayette and in Louisiana area. And even though we're faced with lots of fiscal challenges, that people still want to make art. And the literary arts right now have more visibility, I think, than they've had in a number of years. And there's collaborations happening between the university and between community literary activists. And, again, I'll mention Patrice Melnick because she's created the Festival of Words, and she's having internationally recognized authors come in and work in the schools. So there's great visibility. And I'm really happy to call the people that I work with my friends, because that is what it's about. It's about building relationships.
It really is. And I'm really glad to hear that the literary arts are just up there with everything else, because it is. So. It's a wonderful time to just be partnering and I think enhancing and enriching everyone's lives.
And there's extraordinary talent here.
There really is. Well, I want to thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much.
I'm so impressed. Thank you for sharing your poetry with us. And again, we can get it at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. And
through my publisher, Press 53, Press with the number 53.
So if anybody's interested, you can contact any of those sources for her book.
I appreciate it.
Claire, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching The Extra Mile.